Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue watching Supernatural. We are in season 5 and at episode 5, and I am unusually excited to watch the next one. And by unusual, I mean excited because the last one kinda had a good ending. If you are new here, hello, welcome in. My name is Cora. It is so lovely to have you here. I'm also a Twitch streamer and I create gaming content here on YouTube. If you want to check the gaming content out, you can click the link up here. And if you want to come and hang out live or check out any of the other social media, the link to that is down below in the description box. And if you're not new, welcome back. The last episode, it ended so good. I am always excited to watch the next episode. But considering how the last one ended, I feel like I'm still on a little cloud, you know? I am just so pumped to see the boys back together. You know, I know there's probably gonna still be, you know, trust issues and a lot of things between them, but I do believe that last episode was a tiny bit of like, let's start fresh and actually do this together. The last one was called The End. I don't always remember the names of the episode, but well, that was pretty easy. And we follow mainly Dean in that one, where Dean gets zapped into the future by none other than Zachariah. Of course, Zachariah and the other angels are still trying to get Dean to say yes to being Michael's vessel, and Zachariah then chooses to zap him into the future, 5 years into the future, I believe, for him to see what is going to happen if he doesn't say yes. So Dean wakes up in this, and I still don't know if I should call it a post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic state of the world, but he wakes up in a world where the apocalypse has happened. Well, it is happening in the year that we're in as well, but you can really see the aftermath of the full-blown apocalypse. And even though things are still happening, I suppose this is a little bit, at least towards the end of the apocalypse, the world is in a zombie apocalyptic kind of state where the croatonin virus has spread throughout the world, and you have these small, enclosed, segregated camps where they have to be really careful so that no one gets infected, because then they'll infect everyone else and whatnot, and it's terrifying. The military is drinking and shooting people, and it is as chaotic as one might think if that ever happened to the world. So Dean tries to find people he knows. He looks for Bobby, and it is not looking good. You can see Bobby's wheelchair, you can see no trace of him. He manages to find a book at Bobby's place because he's figured out that he is most likely in the future, and tries to kind of trace Bobby's steps back, and he finds this picture of a camp, and he can see Cass and Bobby and himself. So he decides to like go look for that camp, and he finds it. Once at this camp, the first thing he sees is Baby, first off, and Baby is just in really bad shape, and you can just see Dean being like, no, what did they do to you, Baby? What did they do? And looking at Baby, and then he gets hit in the head by none other than himself. So he gets to meet himself 5 years into the future, and they have these Dean-like witty conversation back and forth to try to figure out what is happening. Are they really the same person? He shares this really embarrassing for him story with himself to kind of prove to the future Dean that he is actually him, but from like the past. And I think that was kind of funny. It's a very specific memory, so, and I believe it's not something that Dean would have ever told anyone, but he told himself, and then you can see himself being like, okay, yeah, so this must be Zachariah's doing, gotcha. And they have a little back and forth, but the Dean from the future decides to leave our Dean, I suppose, in this shed and go out on like a mission. Our Dean manages to like get himself loose, and the first person he bumps into is Chuck, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Chuck. And Chuck kind of still seems like himself, maybe a little bit more assertive and organized, but you know, Chuck's still Chuck, and it's so nice. And they have this really funny encounter where there is like a lady who comes up and gets angry at Dean, and he asks Chuck like, did I spend the night? And Chuck is just nodding, and like she's like, I thought we had a special connection, and Dean's like, oh, I'm sure we do. Like, he doesn't know anything that's happened, obviously, because he's from the past. I think that scene is really funny, how you see just the old and like our Dean being thrown into future scenarios and like meeting these people who doesn't know that he's from the past, and it's really ridiculous and really funny. But he asks if Cass is still around, and Chuck says something in the lines of like, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I was like, what does he mean by that? And then we get to see Cass. And Cass's change is one of the funniest I've ever seen. He is high as a kite, living his best life. Not an angel anymore, we find out. He is just vibing. He's got this little meditative hippie group where he has orgies with women, and you know, he seems to be living his best human life. He's constantly high, drunk probably, maybe as well, and he just doesn't give a rat's ass. It's really funny because the Cass that we know is kind of stiff, not someone that really lets loose in any case scenario. He doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. Obviously still an angel, even though he's got his limitations in the terms of angel stuff, but still very much not doing these things. And just seeing him so relaxed, like, come on, why does it matter? It's just like, it's just the funniest combination of a character's development that we've seen. Like, I couldn't put two and two together. It was so funny. It was great. I loved it. It was so funny. But Cass figures it out. Oh, it's gotta be Zachariah that sent you back and all of that stuff. To not go into too much details, Dean argues a lot with himself, but he finds out that his future self found a cult, and he was like, where was it? And he's like, I've been tracking it for like 5 years and I finally find it, so we're gonna kill the devil. So the future Dean convinces the team, like the group from this little encampment, that they're gonna go and do this. This is the only way to do it. And he actually brings his old self with him, which is a little interesting. They all go and argue about it, and they argue back and forth, but they do all end up going. Well, Dean argues, and then they all end up going. Once they get that, Dean is like, something's fishy about this. I can see that you are lying, because I know myself. I look myself in the mirror and I know the tells. I know that something's off and you're not telling the full truth, at least. You're hiding something. So he has another argument with himself, and it turns out that his future self is about to sacrifice all of his friends as bait so that he can go in and kill the devil, because the devil knows that they're coming. So he's willing to send all of them in so he can sneak around and try to kill the devil with the cult. And the past Dean, our Dean, is really upset about this, because Dean is not that kind of person. He is not someone who leaves his friends behind or uses them as bait to, even if it is to like kill the devil or do the great thing good, like that is not Dean. And you can see our Dean struggling a lot with seeing himself becoming a person that is so far away from who he actually is. And you can see that he's a little bit scared of it as well. And he tries to argue with himself, and then his future self just knocks him out cold, and he only wakes up when it is too late. So he rushes in and he sees like shots being fired, and then he finds his future self lying on the ground and someone stepping on his head. So earlier in the episode, and actually one of the first things that our Dean asked the future Dean is, first off, where is Sam? And then when he finds out that he died in Detroit, that is what the future Dean told him. He was like, how? What happened? And the future Dean is like, I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know. And the past Dean is like, he's confused and sad and heartbroken. I think there's a lot of emotion. He's just like, we weren't with him. And he's like, no, we never spoke again. So like, from the point of time where Dean's from, that would have been the point in time where they would have stopped talking and never spoken a word again, and then Sam would have died. And you can see how that crushes him. And I think I've been saying this all along, even when he said that he was so much happier without Sam and stuff, it's not really the truth. It's not that he's happier about Sam, it's just without Sam. It's just that all that's happened is really heavy and he just need to have a good time and like do something else. And it's not really only, obviously Sam is a big part of like the stress and stuff, but them being apart isn't necessarily the key. And I think in that moment where he sees himself just never speaking to his brother again and just letting him die, well, letting him die is not the right word maybe, but I think that is how I envision him feeling in that moment. I never spoke to him again, I let him die, and I wasn't even with him. I think that hit really hard. But before they go to kill the devil, I think that the future Dean actually tells him that, oh, actually, you know, I told you that Sam died in Detroit, but that is not actually what happened. No, he said yes. He said yes in Detroit, and that's almost a little bit worse. Like, that's worse, because obviously it's not incorrect that Sam is dead, because I'm assuming that becoming Lucifer's vessel does sort of kill Sam. He is basically just a meat suit for Lucifer. But that is the same thing, I suppose, as losing Sam. At least if it's been a long while, I don't know exactly. They haven't explained exactly how it works, but I'm going under the assumption that Sam is lost at least. So going into this killing the devil stuff, the past Dean, our Dean, knows this, which is really, really hard. And he runs in and he sees future self on the ground and Lucifer clad as Sam stepping on his head, and it's horrific seeing that scene. And that whole scene it made me a little conflicted, because some of the things that the devil or Lucifer says, I'm not saying, like, I don't know if I made that clear in the last episode, but it's not like I trust Lucifer. It's not like I think that he is doing everything out of the goodness of his heart, but some of the things that he says is not like purely evil per se. And like him saying sorry for wearing Sam, I don't know, maybe there could be some truth to that. Like, even if Lucifer does things that are really, really bad, it doesn't mean that necessarily everything would be. And it was just hard hearing everything that Lucifer said, because it kind of gave you a little bit, for me at least, like, they kind of made me feel a bit bad. But then Dean is like, don't try to manipulate me, like, I don't buy that kind of bullshit and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, actually I need to think more like Dean here. I'm being way too soft about this. But they have this conversation back and forth, and Lucifer basically tells him, clad as Sam, that no matter what you do, because you're not gonna say yes to Michael, you're not gonna kill Sam, and I don't know if that was a third thing, but I know that you're not gonna do these things, so you're always gonna end up here. No matter what you do, you're always gonna end up in this moment, we're gonna end up here, and this is how it's gonna happen. And it's just heartbreaking knowing that he could try to do so many things, and so many of the choices that he has leads to the same destination, where the full-blown apocalypse is there, Earth is breaking into pieces, and he loses basically. You can see how Dean is struggling so much with this, and you even see him crying. And I think it's even harder having this conversation and knowing that so many things are dependent on his own decisions is hard enough, but then he's having that with his baby brother. Like, he can hear his baby brother's voice and he can see his face and expressions, but it's not him, and I think that must be really hard. But at that moment he gets zapped back to the year he was from and has a conversation with Zachariah. So another thing that happened during the episode was that the future Dean begged the past Dean to say yes. He said, if I could do it all over again, I would say yes. I have tried to scream about it, I've tried to do everything, and nothing I can do. They're not helping me. The angels left. It doesn't matter if I say yes now, they're not gonna help. So he himself is begging himself to say yes, and I think anyone would struggle with that. Like, if you ever went to the future and you met your future self, and that future self told you to not do something or to do something, and like begged you, really begged you, even if you changed in the future, which Dean truly did, and I think that maybe helped a little bit because Dean didn't become a person that he seemed to like. I think it must be really hard not to take your own advice, like you yourself telling yourself, begging yourself to say yes in this case. It must be hard not to. So Zachariah saps him back, and He's like, have you learned your lesson? You know, I showed you all this, like, let's just say yes to Michael so we can strike and we can get, like, we don't have to end up there. Do it before he gets to Sam. Like, he really pushes on his weak points, and it's hard because you've just come from a reality that's horrific. He has had himself begging, he has had Lucifer tell him that we're always gonna end up here, and now he has Zachariah begging him to say yes. And for a moment there, like, I trust Dean to make the right decisions in the end, even if he makes some like not great decisions in the, you know, in the in-betweens. I believe he will do the right decision in the end. But just for a moment, they just dragged it out, and I was like, no, please do not, for the life of me, say yes. And I was just panicking, and then he goes, nah, and I'm like, I almost stood out of my chair, okay? I got so excited, I got so relieved, I almost jumped out of my chair. I wanted to jump up and do a little dance. I was so relieved. He says nah, and then Zachariah's like, well, then you didn't learn the lesson. He's like, oh, I learned a lesson, just not the one you wanted to teach. And Zachariah's like on his way to like zap him into the future again or do something again. Thankfully, he had an appointment with Cass in the very beginning of the episode. they were supposed to meet, basically. So thankfully Cass zaps Dean to where he is, and he that way escapes Zachariah, which is whew. And one of the first things he says to Cass is just, never change. And I think it is such a good line. He's like, you know what, I might be complaining about you sometimes and how you behave, but you know, I like you this way. You can stay this way. And it's just so funny, and Cass doesn't know exactly what's happened. But then we come to the best thing, because like the whole episode was really good, but we come to the best part of it, okay? He picks up his phone and Cass is like, what are you doing? And I could just thinking about it, I could cry. Okay, he calls Sam and he's like, I'm doing something I should have done a long time ago. And I don't think since I started watching this TV series, I don't think I've been happier. Oh, I'm still on that high, and I'm kind of scared of this episode that it's gonna like give me a gut punch after that. But you know, he calls Sam, he meets up with Sam, and basically what I was hoping that Dean would take away from this whole thing was that he needs to make changes in order to avoid that future, but the change doesn't have to be saying yes. And the key might be that actually maybe him and Sam should do this together, because even if they are each other's Achilles heels, I think that is how they put it, and even if like the angels and the demons and everything are gonna try to use them against each other, them being together is probably for the best. And I think knowing that his future self never spoke to Sam again, and that Sam said yes / died without him being there, without him actually being there for his baby brother, I think that hit really, really hard. And I think in that moment, he also might have realized how much he actually misses Sam, despite everything that's happened. And I'm not blaming Dean for it, because what they have been through in like their relationship as brother has been extreme, and I understand that Dean has felt very strongly about a lot of things that happened, but I'm just so relieved to see them back together. And he gave him the knife, and Sam's like, I won't let you down, like, and Dean just says like, I know you won't. And you can see Sam like struggling to hold everything back and not breaking into pieces, and it is just, oh my god, I can't stop smiling thinking about that. That is, if there's ever an episode I'm gonna rewatch, that's gonna be the one, because that was so good. It was so good, and I'm so happy about it. Wonderful episode last time. I liked seeing things into the future, seeing how the characters changed. There were really funny comments, but also very horrific, seeing what the world might actually come to if they cannot figure out how to do this. And that might be saying yes to Michael might be one of the few things that could actually prevent that, which is not surprising, but you know. The good thing is the boys are back. The boys are back, and I am so excited to watch the next one. I get to see an episode with the boys together again, and I know it's probably not going to be easy. The transition might take some time. What I'm hoping for is kind of them getting a little bit of a bonding case, okay? Just a little normal in between a case to kind of get back into the groove together. I'm terrified that we're gonna get another gut punch because I was so happy at the last episode, but the only way to find out is to get into it. So without further ado, let's get into episode 5. Little bastard, is that what it said? Should I know what this is? It's a beautiful car, but I've got no clue. I'm like, snazzy car, are we back with the horsemen? But I don't know, am I overthinking it? Just because it's a snazzy car doesn't mean it has to be the horseman, right?
I'm waiting to rub my nose in it, right?
Exactly.
Whoa, wait. We need to record this for posterity's sake.
Great idea.
I don't know how to feel about this. Oh god, there we go. But that's a haunting, isn't it? The cold breath.
Cal? Hey, you alright, man?
Oh, and then he comes in with the film camera. I am not excited about this.
Oh, God, Cal.
Oh my fudging heck, imagine seeing that. Imagine seeing your friend just having gone through like, no, I can't. And then having that on a camera, that must be oh, flippin' heck. Was that a haunting then? Fallen Idiot. What? That's a funny name. Kind of looked like a haunting, right?
Dude suffers a head-on collision in a parked car. I'd say it's worth checking out.
Fair enough. I'm happy they're checking out something to get back into the groove.
If the cult is really out there somewhere.
Hey, we've been looking for 3 weeks. We got bupkis.
Oh, that's what they've been doing. Okay, so there's been 3 weeks since the last they popped back together.
This is what we're doing, okay? End of discussion.
Does he just want to have a good old hunting to get back together or something, or?
This is our first real case back at it together.
Yeah.
I think we ought to ease into it. Put the training wheels back up.
I agree. I think that could be a good idea.
No, we need training wheels.
Yeah,
We
both of you. Yeah. I agree. Them as a team need to try to get back. They haven't done things together for such a long time. I think a fresh start is a good idea. I understand Sam probably thinking it's mainly about him, and sure, partially it probably is, but I do agree with Dean that like they haven't done anything. Ohio and Canton, interesting. They haven't done anything together in so long. They might as well do this together, right?
We already booked the guy that did it. I'm sorry. Who do you think did it?
Cal?
Oh, because he had it on the camera. Flippin' heck.
Sicko taped his own handiwork.
I can imagine he probably looks that way, but also that doesn't.
He was the only one on the scene for miles. They were best friends.
Yeah.
Most violent crime were committed by someone close to the victim.
And how exactly did Jim slam Cal into a windshield with all the force of a million mile per hour crash?
Travis, maybe? No, this ain't brain surgery, boys. Whatever it looks like, that's what it usually is.
Sometimes it's not simple though. Sure, it's great if it is, but
It's not what I saw, it's what I heard. Tires squealing, glass breaking. It was the car that did it.
what if the car's actually haunted?
Curse, what do you mean curse?
Oh,
Little bastard.
it's actually a cursed car.
Little bastard. As in the little bastard?
Or, what's little bastard?
Dean, of
the one who's
course he
killed him.
knows.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wait, who was killed in
Oh, we are definitely checking this out.
it? Dean is like, I know about this car. We're so looking at it. I'm excited.
Well, after James Dean died, his mechanic bought the wreckage and he fixed it up. And it repaid him by falling on him. Then Tony McHenry was killed when it locked up on the racetrack. I mean, death follows his car around like
Why would you want to buy it then, though? I wouldn't take the risk, you know?
he had vanished off the back of a truck.
Huh. Sneaky car.
I'm telling you, man, if this car is little bastard, I will bet you dollars to donuts it's what killed the guy.
So you're gonna open up the car? Oh, I love how excited Denis is about this.
Want me to do it? No, I've got it.
Is he nervous about opening up such a nice car? Is that what this is all about?
Okay, baby. I'm not gonna hurt you.
He's just calling this
me.
car baby as well. Is he cheating on baby? If that case? Oh, you had to look underneath, of course. Okay, no, I would be scared about going under a car that's haunted as well.
Need a flashlight?
Oh my god, Sam just going, hello?
Do anything, just go away.
Okay.
Don't speak, all right? In fact, don't even look at her. She might not like it.
is this so funny? Sounds like, yep, okay, well, I'll leave you two alone. But Sam's gotta be seeing this too, right? No? Okay, wait, why are we doing that though instead of just writing the number down? Wouldn't that be quicker than like touching the car and doing it? No, maybe not. I suppose they know best.
Find out who owned it? That's a lot of research. Well, I guess I just made your afternoon.
He's like, you're the one who usually does the research, sir. Congratulations. I did this, so you can do that.
So you want to be an actress, huh?
Yeah.
That is so funny because I am actually an agent.
Oh, this is like the good old times. Dean's just in a bar, hitting on girls, you know.
Took me a while, but I traced all the car's previous owners.
And Sam's in the room, just, oh.
You in a car?
No, I'm
Of course he is.
Here's your beer.
He's like, why am I not surprised?
I've been working my ass off here.
Hey, world's smallest violin, pal. I spent the afternoon up Christine's skirt.
That Porsche is not, nor has it ever been, James Dean's car.
Oh. Oh no, it's kind of sad that it's a fake one. I kind of would have liked it to be the original. I mean, it could still be cursed though. Something is obviously still cursed, but interesting if, oh no. Oh, maybe it's not the car. Oh, maybe it's something else. It's you?
You're dead. You're supposed to be dead.
Is this... Who is that? Okay, that's terrifying. He looks like very old-timey. Oh my god. The way he zoomed was kind of freaky for some reason. Is this some guy that everyone has beef with or something? Oh god. Well, on both ends, it's never that easy. The hunting is never that easy.
You got another weird one?
Well, it's a little strange on the surface, I admit, but once you look at the facts...
It's simple, huh? Is that what you're gonna say?
Died from a gunshot wound to the head. No gun, no gunpowder, no bullet.
Nope,
Yeah.
nothing strange about that.
Nothing. At all.
Well, what's your reasonable explanation?
I suppose sometimes there's not.
There's no killer.
Come again?
CIA, NSA...
I love that he whispered it. Professional killer. They're like, yeah, well, the way he just goes, right. Oh, the poor woman. She must have heard that and seen him, right?
You said you saw something in the professor's house, right? Something in the window?
Estamos sacando la basura.
So he knows a little bit of Spanish? I didn't realize that. Should I have known that?
Nice.
Freshman Spanish.
Era alto. Muy alto.
Tall man, very tall, with a long black coat and a beard.
I got some of that.
A tall hat.
Well, like a top hat.
Ah. Wait, so top hat and a stovepipe hat are different things then?
Abraham Lincoln, kill Mr. Hill.
I can see why they don't think she's making any sense, but it actually is a pretty good description. He kind of did look like what I expected Lincoln to look like. With the top hat and being tall and the beard and all of that, huh? Not that I am a pro at American history or anything, but... Okay, there's something moving there. But that's red. Interesting.
Am I crazy or does that look like James Dean?
That looks like James.
Uh-huh. So a ghost that can look in different ways?
Famous ghosts?
Maybe.
A ghost that wants to be famous, so the ghost uses famous
There's a
ghosts?
ton of lore on famous ghosts. More than the, not famous guys. Who are apparently ganking their fans.
I see.
He dug Lincoln.
Cal must have been a James Dean freak.
Oh.
He spent 17 years of his life tracking down the guy's car. You're saying that we've got two super famous, pissed off ghosts killing super fans?
Could be. Although I feel like there's gotta be a connection between the two ghosts, or it being the same ghost.
Mooey. Not muchos.
He's like, I'm gonna correct you.
Ghosts usually haunt the places they live.
The hell are they doing in Canton?
Yeah, and this isn't like close to the White House, and the car isn't even a real car, so this is really interesting. Huh? The music right now?
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, I see. There's a wax museum of famous people. Could that be haunted? And they can use the wax figure, like it could like possess the wax figures, because that's a thing, right? So ghosts could possess it and use it, technically speaking, right?
Hey. Gandhi was a great man.
Shaking my head.
Writing a piece for Travel magazine.
Yeah,
He's like, let's just not talk about it.
Non-sucky wax museums are.
It's fantastic. Two of our most popular displays. Yeah, we have our regulars.
Oh,
William Hill and Cal Hopkins were regulars, were they?
As a matter of fact, they were.
I see the connection now, maybe. Potentially.
That Lincoln is so lifelike. I mean, you know, you can just imagine him moving around. You ever seen anything like that?
No.
No.
Well, I'll say, there isn't another place like us, not anywhere.
How so?
Well, for one, that's Honest Abe's real hat.
And they just keep it like that? I see. And then James Dean, does he have something real too?
Oh, yeah, got his keychain.
Gotcha.
This,
And who did that belong to?
the Fonz, seasons 2 through 4.
Why is he wearing it? I guess maybe they don't have the figure, so.
Been working on a new collection of figures. Stuff that'll really wow the kids. Gen Y.
Gen Y? Wait, is that a thing? Gen Y? Does that exist? Gonna make them hip again. You go. Oh, so the connection is the wax museum because it has the belongings of some of the dead people. And so I suppose different ghosts haunts people that is too intense or too
Lincoln and James Dean.
fan-like?
Believe that? Why so kill crazy? Maybe the apocalypse has got them all hot and bothered.
Is he talking to Bobby maybe?
Well, I'm sorry, but it's true.
Who's on the phone?
Bobby.
It was Bobby, I thought so.
So we're just gonna pretend I didn't hear what I just heard?
Pretend or don't pretend. Whatever floats your boat.
This was supposed to be a fresh start, Dean.
Well, this is about as fresh as it gets.
He is trying. I guess maybe talking to Bobby about it is a good idea because then at least he can kind of get that out of his system without getting it onto Sam. And you like very bad timing of Sam stepping into the room just as that happened, but I'm glad that he is talking about, I don't know, maybe the way he expressed it wasn't the best, but he also wasn't meant to hear it, and I think it's better that he says that to Bobby than to Sam. You really think about it?
Check it out. 7 years ago, I had a funny hat.
Dean,
What if the hunting starts and you're wearing the head?
torch the objects, torch the ghosts, get out of here, okay?
I'll go grab East of Eden's keychain.
Keychain, and then you need the glasses, and they should, I hope they got like the full list of actual belongings that are in this museum. I wonder what the dude is gonna say though when he comes here and finds out that all of the actual authentic stuff is gone. Oh no, this is terrifying. No, I don't like that. Oh my god, don't stare at him. Sammy's gonna scare you and I'm gonna get scared. Why would you do that? The item is still here, so a ghost could still possess that doll, right? Or be that doll.
Dean?
Oh no. I mean, I knew something like this was gonna happen. Why is there something hanging on the wall as well? Like a person hanging on the wall? Oh man. I knew someone was gonna do this. That's so weird. Oh my god, the way the way he's like crawling on the floor, that's freaky. Oh, that's freaking me out. It's so weird seeing specifically Gandhi doing this.
Whirly.
Oh yeah, the glasses. That's terrifying. I suppose any ghost could become vengeful because it's not really connected to the actual person, but... Whew. Oh gosh.
Couldn't have been a fan of someone cool? Really? Gandhi?
So you have to, do you have to be a fan for it to attack you? Maybe you do. I mean, he did say that Gandhi was a cool, he was defending him, so I suppose.
didn't it strike you as strange the way Gandhi just vanished?
Oh.
Screaming, no big flame out? I mean, that isn't the way ghosts
Oh
usually go.
yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's something off.
Trying to take a bite out of me.
That wouldn't be ghost-like
He
though.
was hungry. But the thing is, Gandhi, or the real Gandhi, he was a fruitarian.
Why did he not want to tell Dean?
Our ultimate hero was not only a short man in diapers, but he was also a fruitarian.
That's not the point.
That is good. That is for you. That is good.
Come on. You had to get him at that.
He's supercharged,
fruitarian ghost, but it was still a ghost.
I get his point though. I mean, not that any human would like to bite someone else, but I guess it's a little bit further away if you only eat fruit, right?
You know, this isn't gonna work.
No, don't say this, don't say this. No, no, no,
You,
no,
together.
please. No, stop
thought we
it.
could, but it
Stop it.
You're the one who wanted back in.
Stop it.
And you're the one who called me back in.
I still think we got some trust building to do.
Yeah,
For probation.
Till I say so.
I get it, but I also get him and I guess...
And I am trying to climb out of that hole. I am, but you're not making it any easier. You can think whatever you want. I deserve it, and worse. Hell, you'll never punish me as much as I'm punishing myself. Point is, if we're gonna be a team, it has to be a two-way street.
So we just go back to the way we were before?
No, because we were never that way before. Before didn't work. How do you think we got here?
Oh, I don't like this conversation right now.
Dean, one of the reasons I went off with Ruby was to get away from you.
Don't say that. Oh, that might be
It
some
made me
truth in
feel
this, but
strong,
still.
Like I wasn't your kid brother. If we're gonna do this, we have to do it different. We can't just fall into the same rut.
My heart, please.
You're gonna have to let me grow up, for starters.
I get this. I do. It's really hard for both of them because so much has to change. And I understand that Dean doesn't really trust Sam. I do, and I don't think that's going to be built up immediately. But I guess accepting that Sam is able to do some things by himself could be a good start. That you don't have to fully trust him or anything, but...
You're right about this not being over.
At least when it comes to this kind of stuff, maybe putting some trust in, like, the cases is... I'm not saying him as a person, but gut feeling when it comes to cases and such alike, maybe that could help. Helping him feel a bit more grown up. I think I get what Sam is saying about wanting to get away and, like, feel like an adult, but it's just, oh, heartbreaking.
It was horrible. Way horrible. I thought she'd be nice. I still can't believe it.
Believe what?
She took Danielle.
Huh? What's going on here?
It was Paris Hilton.
Oh,
Skinny.
she looked really good.
Huh?
Sorry, I know this is probably horrible, but the way they just had to comment on her appearance is kind of funny.
Hilton's not dead as far as we know, right?
Pretty sure.
I was gonna say was she shouldn't be a ghost. I just
We missed something.
yeah. This I mean, it looked like a ghost hunting from the beginning. I agree, but since she's not dead, it does not really make sense, does it? I don't know how to figure out what this is. It shouldn't be ghouls either, right? They could embody people. The last person they ate. Technically speaking, oh, but Paris Hilton is not dead, so I guess that would be kind of difficult. Well, 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 what have we here? I have no idea, but that looks terrifying.
There was blood loss. Major. I mean, more blood loss than a car crash or a headwind should cause. Almost like
Something's feeding.
there were these.
What are those, seeds?
Yeah, they were in both Vic's bellies.
Seeds?
They're unlike any other seed I've ever seen before, Dean.
Oh, that's
I
terrifying.
thought you couldn't get any geekier.
I get though, like that doesn't look like normal seeds, right?
The seeds aren't from around here. In fact, they're not from any tree or plant in the country.
Where are they from?
Eastern Europe.
How the heck?
Forest was guarded by a pagan god whose name was Leshy.
Ooh, pagan gods, okay.
You like to munch on his fans.
Yep.
On his fans?
Worshippers. It would drain them, then stuff their stomachs with the seeds.
Oh. Well, how are they his fans though?
James Dean's keychain and then morphs into James Dean?
Or does it just have to be fan of anyone, and if he embodies it, that would make them a fan of him? That could work.
To chop off his head with an iron axe.
Great.
Let's go gank ourselves a Paris Hilton.
No, it's just so weird. It's like embodied Paris Hilton. I was gonna say, like, she isn't dead, is she? And then they were just like, she looked so good, so skinny. And I was just like, wait. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the conversation they had earlier is so hard. But I hope that was just enough for them to realize they need to make some changes without it being I don't know, too much for them to not try to make this work. I know it's been a few weeks, but I want them to like try a little harder, you know. They need to be back together, and I love seeing them doing this case together. It's like an good old case, you know, with a sprinkle of things not being great yet. What if it's the dude? What if it's the owner? Oh, maybe it's a legit tree. But the owner could maybe, I don't know. Can he mod it? Nah. Maybe the owner knows, so maybe the owner's worshipping him. Oh god, that's terrifying. What if those are real trees? I love this as danger, and then it's like an actual house in here.
Hey.
Oh, flip. Oh. Ah. Oh, this is too funny. It's actually Paris Hilton.
Awesome.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, this is, oh my god, this is too funny. Oh, this is so good. Oh, that's terrifying. This is terrifying, but like so comedic and just so perfect in so many ways. I love this. Oh, this is so good. I'm having the best time right now. I'm still a little anxious for that conversation they had earlier, but like this just, it feels like we're back in season 1 with a smidge of
So glad you're awake.
bad relationship stuff going into it.
It's gonna be huge. I've been stuffing myself with fast food lately, so it's nice to do the ritual right.
Mm-hmm.
Low meal for a change.
Just like the good old days, huh?
Oh, that was terrifying. Oh, the way she moved her head.
I guess these days nobody gives a flying crap about some backwoods forest god, huh?
Times have changed.
Scrounging for scraps. So not sexy.
I like how it kind of, the way it talks, like it's like an old god and it just talks like this, and it's just funny. I love it.
I'm tired of watching what I eat. I want a pig out.
Yeah, but they're not your fans.
So, whatever.
Whatever.
You know, I gotta tell you, you are not the first god we've met, but you are the nuttiest.
No, you people.
Oh, okay.
Used to worship gods. But this? Celebrities? What have they got besides small dogs?
Interesting logic to this, but I can see how this is, yeah, you know.
I'm more of a penthouse floor man myself.
The just can't.
I hate to break it to you, sister, but you can't eat me. See, I'm not a Paris Hilton BFF.
No, I know who your hero is. Your daddy.
Oh. Wait.
This belonged to him. Didn't it? All you ever wanted was to be loved by your idol.
No, this is hitting too close to home. Can she embody? Oh, could she have embodied him if she touched the axe? The way she's just like whacking them. Oh my god, this is so weird. Like having Sam smash in Paris Hilton's head, or well, neck, I suppose, and not head, but that just this is just so bizarre on so many levels. I don't even know what to feel right now.
You just got wailed on by Paris Hilton.
Oh my god, Sam's living. Dean has been mocking him about Gandhi and the seeds and everything the whole day, and the research he dumped in his lap, and he's like, I just saw you get punched by Paris Hilton. I'm living. Oh, that was great.
Danielle's gonna be all right.
Oh, I'm happy they were able to save her.
Sheriff's putting on an APB on Paris Hilton.
Oh, that's fun, an APB on her. That's gonna be interesting to explain that. Like, oh no, we heard it. And then Paris Hilton's gonna be like, I wasn't doing anything.
Keeping too tight of a leash on you? Oh, maybe you're right. I mean, look, I'm not exactly Mr. Innocent in this whole mess either. You know, I did break the first seal.
You didn't know.
Yeah, well, neither did you.
Yeah, that's true. Both of them did something and none of them knew.
You did kill Lilith.
And start the apocalypse.
Which neither of us saw coming. I mean, who'd have thought killing Lilith would have been a bad thing?
Yeah, that's true. I guess Dean didn't know that either. Even if Sam did bad things.
I was so worried about watching your every move that I didn't see what it was actually doing to you.
Oh, oh my heart.
Thanks.
The gross from Dean's side.
The way I see it, we got one shot at surviving this. Maybe I am on deck for the devil. Maybe the same with you and Michael. But we can stop wringing our hands over it. Grab onto whatever's in front of us, kick its ass, and go down fight.
can get on board with that.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do it on the same level.
I think they deserve to be on the same level. I get the trust part might take time, but the rest. Oh, and conversation that actually led to a good conversation.
Hey.
It's gonna ask him to drive.
You wanna drive?
Please say yes. This is if Dean trusts you with his baby, come on. And he can nap while you do it, come on. Yes. Oh, I am living again. Oh my god. The boys are back. Oh, look at Sam just driving, baby. Okay, that is a huge step for Dean. Oh, this song. Another really good episode. Okay. It took me a little bit of time to get into this. I think that this episode had quite many references that I didn't get. You know, after all, I am the Captain America of the internet and I miss like 95% of all references. But I think I was also just so on like the edge of my seat of what is going to be fudged up in this episode. What's going to happen that just breaks my little happy bubble. And the fact that my bubble is still intact. Man, I'm still so happy. Oh my lord, I'm getting another week, start of the week with just being on top of the world, okay? I'm gonna be on the top of the world this week and it's gonna be so good. First off, I got an episode like I wanted, okay? I said in the beginning, I'm hoping this is more like going back to the basics, kind of like, you know, season 1 kind of, let's do a haunting together, let's just, you know, go back to the basics, and we got it. I understand Sam's apprehension. First off, there is an apocalypse happening and they probably do need to focus on, you know, getting to the devil and sorting everything out. And I think also Sam felt that Dean wanted to do this because he doesn't trust him, which I think he doesn't. I don't think that even if Dean has taken a huge step, even in the beginning of the episode and even bigger at the end of it, I don't think that Dean really trusts Sam, and I understand that because their relationship has been through a lot, and I do believe it's going to take quite a long time to get there. But I also think it's a good point because even if that is going to take time, and even though they do have to do so much other stuff like saving the bloody world, I think going back to the basics, putting on the steering wheels is good for both of them because them getting back together as being a team, it is not just Sam's, like, it's not just Sam that needs to work on stuff. And I think that Dean realized that. I think Sam feels like he's the only one who has to like get things back on track and work on things, and that Dean doesn't have to do anything. And I think that's why he felt like that was very pointed to him. But I think Dean's intention, partially it comes from not trusting Sam's and like wanting to keep tabs on him. But I also think it was actually partially that like they haven't been able to work together properly for quite a long time. Because the past few seasons, like there's been so much happening. Dean was gone a long time when he was in hell and Sam was on his own, and then Sam went off with Ruby, and there's been so many things. So them like actually getting back to the basics and working together has been so long. I think it's a really good idea for them to do this. Obviously they're still saving people, they're hunting things, they're like saving life, they're doing that. And I think that doing this case was good. Go back, let's do something a little bit more simple, so to say, in comparison, and like test out how we work together. And I was a little anxious about the phone call because I think Bobby is the best person to talk about all of this with. He will listen, he will tell you when you're off base, he will tell you when you're wrong, and when you need to like sharpen your mind and where he thinks that you're making something stupid, he will be honest with you about that. But he will also listen because he cares so deeply about the boys, and I think he is extremely happy. Not that we've seen him, but I'm pretty sure Bobby's happy to that back together because ultimately that's what he wanted too, right? So I think Dean calling Bobby was a smart move because there is gonna be a long time for them to get back to a good relationship, or actually maybe even just get to a good relationship, because as Sam mentioned later, the relationship wasn't ever great in many ways. And even though it's not Dean's fault that this all happened, some of it might have been the reason, like some of it might have been the cause of Sam's actions, and sure, that's like on Sam, but maybe them trying to get to a better place, starting fresh, and building up to a good relationship is a good idea. And whilst they do that, Dean calling Bobby, giving him updates, and like maybe even talking through what he thinks and feels. And sometimes, sure, like he might be angry at Sam for what he did and struggle with trusting him, but I think telling Bobby that is better than him just saying it to Sam's face. Not saying that they shouldn't talk, because I do think they should, but sometimes some things is really good to speak with someone else about, just to kind of get them off your chest. Because when we have something trapped inside, it's very easy that the people that are closest to us, and Sam and Dean are the closest people to each other, sometimes, and especially if it is that person doing something or something that they have done, sometimes our emotions being trapped in kind of overflows, and we put that on the person that's closest to us. And when it's something that they have also done, that's not always very productive. You need to take the conversations at a good time, like right place, right time kind of thing. So I think it's important that they have them, but I think talking it through with Bobby first is a good step. And I think it's also nice for Bobby to know what the bros are up to and what they're doing, and like for Bobby to keep tabs on them, you know, rather than anything else. But I get Sam's emotion, because Sam, I don't know if Sam is ever going to be able to forgive himself, just as Dean's never going to be able to forgive himself, because Dean actually said something at the end of this that was very interesting. He said, well, you may have started the apocalypse, but you didn't know what you were doing. But I'm not innocent in this. I was the one who broke the first seal. And then Sam's like, but you didn't know. But none of them actually knew. And even as Sam was making all of these bad decisions, or like neither Dean or Sam understood that killing Lilith was actually breaking the last seal and starting the apocalypse. That's not something that either of the parties understood, like the whole period of this. So they both made things on accident that wasn't great. And I don't think either of them will ever be able to forgive themselves fully. And I think they will always punish themselves for it. So them not punishing each other would be good. I know that's gonna be hard, and I'm not saying that they need to go into a relationship and pretend that nothing happened, because I don't think that's gonna help either. But when Sam walked in and heard that, I was like, dang, is this gonna make it fall apart? Is that gonna make Sam just leave again? And it just, oh, we just got back, and I was so worried, and I was like, oh, I just hope that they give this like a proper shot. And the way Dean put it probably wasn't the smoothest, but it also wasn't meant for Sam to hear. Like, if he would have said that to Sam, I don't think he would have put it that way. In the moment, I was very anxious about that. I was gonna, like, how that was potentially gonna break everything. But maybe it was a good thing, because it kind of put to light that even though Dean wants to get back into all of this and do this together, he's still very, I don't know what the word is, but he still doesn't trust Sam. And there are still things that he has issues with that he's not going to be able to let go. And I think it was good for Sam to hear that. And in the end, after everything that happened, it gave Dean some time to think about other things. And I'm happy Dean brought it up. I'm also proud for Sam for admitting that, because it's not Dean's fault, but I think it was good that he admitted that partially maybe the reason that Sam did go away is because he kept feeling like he wasn't ever in charge. He felt like a baby brother when they're both adults and they can both make decisions and do this together without one being above the other. Even though I don't think that's ever been intentional, and when it's been intentional, it has been out of love. Sometimes we do things out of love that we believe is the right thing, but it might not be, and I think that's kind of the case here. I'm happy the conversation they had in the end, it was important and emotional, but still kind of lighthearted, like not extremely deep. And I think it's nice to have them both on the same page, kind of realizing that they both want to get back together, they want to fight this together, how hard it may be, but that going back to the way things were before everything started might also not be the right thing. They need to kind of start fresh, and they both seem fine with that. And them agreeing on that, I think, is going to be a huge step in their relationship getting better. So I'm over the moon. This was really good. I felt nostalgic the whole episode. I just wanted to, like, I don't know, like I want to just hug them I just felt comfortable and excited, and also it was really funny with freaking Paris Hilton in it, like gold, comedy gold from my side. I think that was really funny. It was just overall so good. It was so good seeing them back together, and I can't wait to watch the next one. Oh my goodness gracious, this was so good. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, it would mean a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up. Of course, comment down below your thoughts, feelings, emotions when you watched this the first time, the 58th time, or maybe when you watched it with me. I would love to know. Maybe you have some fun facts or cool things to share about this episode. I would love to hear about them. Thank you all so much for being so patient and for being such a loving community. I know a lot of people love this show, and a lot of people has made me love it even more from like sharing your experience with it and thoughts about the episodes and whatnot. So I'm really excited to watch the next one. But of course, make sure to subscribe if you want to be here for the next one. That would mean a lot as well. Thank you once again for being here. Thank you for watching this show with me. I appreciate you all so much. Can't wait to watch the next one, and I hope you'll have an amazing rest of your day, night, morning, midnight snack, breakfast, whichever time it is for you when you're watching this, and I'll see you very soon.